Rumored for quite some time, the X-23 spin-off movie seems to be still lingering in limbo, especially after Disney's acquisition of Fox. However, the upcoming mutant invasion could mean that the long-awaited X-23's next appearance could come within the wider MCU through an alternate reality or multiverse, possibly in a costume that the comic book iteration of the character wore at some point, something to remember her father by. It seems like the end of the journey for Hugh Jackman's Wolverine came with the Logan movie. And don't get me wrong, it was probably the best send-off a superhero of that caliber could get, not only because of just how well the movie did at the box office, but also because of just how natural and simple the movie was in general. It was a superhero movie, which at that time found itself amidst the Marvel outbreak of movies coming through every few months. However, it managed to capture the essence by not relying too much on the CGI side of things, like many superhero movies nowadays do, which was also the main thing to take into consideration when it comes to the character, and just how old Logan is in his universe, his roots, and everything he has been through up until that point in his life, when he met X-23, the daughter he never knew he had, which is actually why we are here, his protege, and where her future will take her. Will it be in the wider MCU as part of the upcoming mutant invasion that has been speculated for so long? Or in her solo project? Stick around to get all the news we managed to gather. The first big news that came through was from Dafne Keen herself, who said that her character X-23 is already planned for a project soon, a project that has already been put in the works at the time. In 2017, another report came in that Fox is moving with a Logan spin-off movie, after the success of the first Wonder Woman movie, which coincided with what Dafne said a few years after that. Disney's acquisition of the X-Men from Fox might have complicated things. However, the positive thing to take out of all of this would be the fact that the blueprint for a said movie has already been laid out. Let's see if Marvel Studios decides to adapt it and put Daphne's character in a spin-off movie, or something else entirely, like smashing that like button if you haven't done so already. But no, actually, like joining the wider MCU at some point, along with the other young mutants from the new generation who have been rumored of joining the MCU to some capacity in the near future. Another big player who joined the hype train, so to speak, is James Mangold himself, the director of Logan, who also showed interest in making the spin-off project, with him expressing his desire to return to the world of mutants, hopeful to be able to write and direct the X-23 movie. Mangold said that there has been discussions about the project and that the interest is high from his side, despite him being absent from the genre and him moving on to new things. This tells us that the acclaimed director is still down to do a movie if the opportunity arises. However, the interest only goes so far, and despite the fact that he still wants to do X-23, he also admitted that as things stand right now, the whole thing does not seem like it is going to happen, or at least not in the near future. Under different circumstances, that is, if we put aside the rights of the X-Men shifting from one place to another, and with it, the ideas that both parties have at the moment, a successful and Oscar-nominated comic book movie with a breakout turn from a young actress would be a no-brainer to get a spin-off movie. On the other hand, we know that the mutants are coming to the MCU, something Kevin Feige confirmed at Comic-Con way back. However, when they will join the MCU is still one big question mark that we will need an answer to before we start with the speculation side of things about Daphne's desire to reprise her role as Laura in a future movie or series. At this point, it looks like Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool is the only confirmed character to make the jump to Marvel, with his debut in the MCU probably coming when Phase 5 of the MCU starts, alongside the other already confirmed mutants, which should come by the end of 2023, or maybe even 2024. Still, if Marvel Studios decide to not have an X-23 movie and recast the character, the company should bring James Mangold into the fold to direct a Marvel movie featuring a mutant or two, who, on the other hand, could bring all of his experience and acclaims from his previous work with Logan. The whole X-23 project is still very much alive, but it is looking particularly doubtful right now, which, as we said, due to Disney's acquisition of 21st Century Fox in early 2019, which eventually signaled that every idea that was had at that moment from the side of Fox was either changed quite a bit or scrapped altogether by the new management, Marvel Studios. And while Marvel's plans have yet to be made clear, there is a high chance that the company will probably opt for a clean slate and start things over. rather than continue with their works on the grounds that Fox set by now. Another thing that Mangold said, despite all the negative things about Laura receiving her solo project, is that if Laura is to succeed in the MCU, it would have to come through alternate timelines or universes. And seeing how the multiverse is wide open right now, we think we can safely say, why not, right? Now let's talk a little bit about Laura, aka X-23. The character as a whole, the differences she has gone through with the adaptation from the comics, and how the two characters differ, with those not-so-similar things probably playing a big role in her future within the MCU, if the character ever makes her debut on the big screen, that is. The Logan movie was the final adventure of Hugh Jackman as one of the most memorable and famous X-Men characters, Wolverine. In the movie, he finds himself battered and tries desperately to find his peace in a world that is still somehow getting in his way. As he inches closer and closer to his final reward, he meets Laura, a mutant with similar powers to his, and a strangely related individual to him. A successor of his? Quite possibly, we should say. And regardless of her future, some of you may be wondering what the character is all about. Well, we have prepared a little something for you to keep your mind busy. First and foremost, in the comics, the character was not presented as an 11-year-old, but rather hitting the scene in her late teens in the Marvel Funny books. She was also a part of the Weapon X program, and she was the 22nd experiment of cloning Wolverine, with Logan changing things quite a bit and showing that the experiments from where she came from were done on various unnamed mutants, potentially members of the X-Men, though it was never cleared out. Her background was also changed significantly from the books, as her adoption from the Spanish nurse gave her a fluent understanding of the language, with her being silent for quite some time in the comics before talking. Similar to the movie, the rage remained the same in the two iterations, though her bones were completely covered with adamantium in the movie, and only her claws in the comics, with her bones getting broken on several occasions. Much like Wolverine, she wore a costume of some sort in the comics, which was not the case in the movie, which was understandable considering the grim and gritty nature of the whole affair. But who knows, maybe in the future she will get her costume at some point. Taking into consideration her love for the X-Men comics, Laura may decide to smash that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Laura may decide to don a costume in tribute to her father, maybe in her next appearance. See you in the next video.
This is